Okay, so this next bit is when we come up to the thing that really the product of all this that just about everyone's seen before, the job description. And that's what we're starting to build now. So what we're trying to build now is a professional and practical job description, and it needs to contain a whole bunch of the following information. There's a fair bit here, but you've probably seen this before. And in a good job description, and you'll see this normally, if you go onto one of the websites looking for a job, that's where you're going to see this stuff all the time. And the first thing you have in the job description is the name of the company. Okay, usually across the top, name of the company, who's involved. Okay, once we move past the name of the company, we usually have the job title. Okay, and the job title or the identification of the position, so it might have a job number or something like that as well. It might have any of those sort of details in it, something that really clearly, so we know what job we're going for. All right, so then it will have, at the top, it'll have, an objective. Okay, and when we're talking about the objective, or a summary statement, can also be. And we might say, cafe hand wanted for, daily shift work in busy local cafe environment for the provision of making sure that our customers are all happy, etc. So it's the short story that tells us what the job is, okay? And you've seen all that before. After that, once we've gone through that bit, we start to talk about, responsibilities and duties. Okay, so responsibilities and duties. So the role involves making coffees every morning for our busy 9 to 5 office staff, general cleaning, cashier handling, etc. So this is when we're going to start talking about, what they're supposed to do. So to talk it through from another one, it could be the job title is, bank officer, coming in, objective and summary, working within our busy retail environment. This position is there to provide customer service to financial services customers in the whatever area it happens to be. Your responsibilities and duties underneath that, and I'll have a layer copy underneath. Responsibilities and duties are provide customer service to the bank's customers, to work within the team and the organisation to support the business outcomes, to count the money, to provide the transactions, whatever the job happens to be, okay? And then you have the reporting structure. Okay, so this is where it is, we talk about reporting to the manager of the cafe, reporting to the manager of the branch, or reporting to the state manager and being reported to by a team, because remember, they might have people reporting to them, and this is where it gets mentioned, okay? And at this point, we start to talk about, once again, it's those relationships. Are they in charge of a team? Okay, do they report to someone? How does that go? So we've got it pretty good. So, reporting to this person, reported to. Okay, cool. Once we've done that, academic. Okay, and we start talking about, the ideal candidate will have tertiary qualifications in this, or the ideal candidate will have this certification, or the ideal candidate will have, whatever the academics, so the educational stuff they'll have. And then we start talking about things like your professional or industrial. Okay, this is when they start talking about, so what experience? So if we talk there through, the ideal candidate will have a university degree and 2 to 3 years experience in the industry. Okay, this is where we start talking about, how much experience do we want them to come with? Is this an entry-level position where, person off the street, or is this a position where we want a long-term of industry experience behind that, or any other requirements that we have? Okay, once again, certifications, licenses, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so the ideal candidate will be university educated with 2 to 3 years experience in this sort of role, or a similar role. Okay, then we start to break it down to, salaries, awards, or special conditions. Okay, and what we're talking about there is talking about, how much are we paying them? Or at least some indication of what the range is. So when we're talking about salaries or awards, we're talking about, industrial agreements, how much money they need to get, how is this indexed, what's it paid against, and special conditions. So I've seen quite a lot of roles, particularly even in Australia here, where you have to work in the far northern territory on some remote place, so they give extra allowances if you have to go to those places. Or there's extra payments because look, you're going to be working in the 14 days on, 14 days off, particularly in the mining industry. That comes up all the time. The fly in, fly out workforce. Okay, 14 days on the job, 14 days off the job. Okay, so you work for 14 days, no break, no stop, just to get a bit of sleep every now and then you take 14 days off and they fly you back home. But in the meantime, you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, so they often pay a little bit of extra for that, etc. And then we talk about the personal attributes. So our ideal person is bright, bubbly, friendly, good at working with other people. Okay, so this is where we talk about them as a person a little bit and the sort of person we want. Neatly groomed, well dressed, etc. So, name of the company is the whatever bank. The job title is customer service rep. Objective is the role of the customer service rep in the bank is to provide customer service skills and deal with people every day. Their responsibilities and duties include dealing with the customers, counting the money, working with the team, etc., reporting to the branch manager and working with another team. Your job every day will involve turning up to work, etc. Academic qualifications. Our ideal candidate comes with a higher school certificate and maybe at least maybe a diploma or something if we're looking at someone going to grow future. Professional industry requirements. Ideally, 12 months experience in the retail industry. They don't need to be an accountant or anything like that, so we're not going to get into that. Salaries and awards are, you'll be paid approximately this in line with the bank officers award, whatever it happens to be that we're going with at the time. And the personal attributes is this job is ideally suited to someone bright, bubbly, friendly, who's young and career, well, not even young, we won't say that because that's discriminatory, but someone who's looking for that first step initial job to start building themselves a career in that industry, okay? Now, the reason we don't say young is it's discriminatory for one, but also you might find that there's people looking to change careers and that's a good entry-level position for them to come across from a different industry, apply the skills and move forward. So we don't want to knock them off. We want to make sure we really leave ourselves open. And that's pretty much how your job description should work, which will create a really good job ad for you. All right. So moving past that, start thinking about the jobs or roles you need filled in your organization, and think about, how you could put something like this together for that job. Okay. If you can't answer any of these questions, that's a sign to you that you need to go back and have another look. Okay. Because these are the absolutes that you need to be able to answer. And if you can't, that just tells you you've got a bit of a problem there and need to go back and check it out. But otherwise, we've got a pretty good ad, pretty good structure. Good luck with that.